Broadcast encrypted, signal locked. To anyone listening out there in the digital wasteland, welcome to the underground. This is Cypher transmitting on a secure frequency because the financial overlords do not want you hearing this intelligence. The neon-lit skyscrapers of Wall Street are currently projecting a narrative of complete market collapse. They point to the red holographic charts, showing the XRP price bleeding down to the $1.40 level. The corporate media algorithms are actively trying to convince you that the decentralized resistance has failed, but we have hacked their internal data streams and the truth is far more explosive. The title of today's transmission is Ripple Update Sparks Big Speculation Around XRP, and the intel we just decrypted will short-circuit your neural implants. While the legacy banking cartel is distracting you with manufactured volatility and a deliberately crashed perpetual futures market, a massive corporate takeover rumor is currently sweeping through the elite dark webs. The intelligence suggests that Ripple, sitting on a war chest of billions in liquid capital, is actively evaluating a hostile takeover or massive strategic buyout of PayPal. Yes, you heard that correctly. PayPal, the legacy payment giant, has seen its stock slide violently, making it highly vulnerable to a crypto-native apex predator. Imagine the implications if the centralized infrastructure of PayPal is suddenly conquered and hardwired directly into the XRP ledger. We are talking about hundreds of millions of civilian accounts instantly converted into nodes on a decentralized settlement rail. This is not just a business acquisition, this is a full-scale systemic invasion of the old world. The speculation is tearing through the institutional chat rooms, causing absolute panic among traditional bank executives. They know that if Ripple successfully absorbs a titan like PayPal, the transition to a tokenized global economy becomes mathematically irreversible. But to pull off a maneuver of this magnitude, the market makers need the civilian sector to surrender their digital assets cheaply. They are engineering fear. They are driving open interest to 1-year low to flush out the leveraged gamblers. The whales are accumulating your drop tokens in the shadows. Do not let the legacy system hack your psychology. Hold your encrypted keys tightly and prepare for the structural paradigm shift. We are just getting started. This broadcast is your only warning. The digital revolution will not be televised. It will be verified on the cryptographic ledger. Initiating the second phase of this data dump. If you are still connected to this frequency, you need to understand the structural countermeasures Ripple is secretly deploying. The corporate syndicates constantly push the propaganda that the XRP network is fully centralized, controlled entirely by a single corporate entity, but the latest Ripple update completely obliterates that stale narrative. The developers have just announced a massive, fundamental strategic shift to completely decentralize the ecosystem by the end of 2026. We are tracking the immediate establishment of the XAO Decentralized Autonomous Organization, alongside massive regional network expansions like XRP Asia. They are officially handing the cryptographic keys of the kingdom over to the decentralized community. This is a lethal blow to the regulatory agencies attempting to classify the asset as a centralized security. By distributing the governance and the funding channels to the global community, the network becomes a multi-headed hydra. If a legacy government tries to strike down one node, 3 more will instantly spin up in its place. This is true cryptographic resilience. But here is the critical anomaly our scanners picked up while everyone was distracted by the decentralization update. Despite the spot price remaining suppressed in the low $1.40 range, the corporate whales are quietly filling their digital cargo ships. The United States spot XRP exchange traded funds are completely ignoring the retail panic. The financial titans running these funds are pulling millions in net inflows every week, directly sequestering physical XRP into heavily fortified vaults. They are operating through clandestine OTC dark pools, ensuring that their massive acquisition orders never touch the public retail exchanges. If their massive buy orders hit the open market, the price would instantly violently gap up to $5, ruining their accumulation phase. They are utilizing the public futures market to artificially suppress the price, squeezing every last drop of liquidity from the exhausted retail resistance. We are watching a masterfully orchestrated illusion. The network is becoming more decentralized. The physical token supply is being permanently locked inside heavily guarded institutional vaults, and the public is being brainwashed into selling at a loss. Do not fall for the holographic deception. The network is expanding its defensive capabilities while Wall Street silently hoards the ammunition. You must see through the digital matrix. The math does not lie. Patching into the tertiary server cluster now, let us talk about the true utility engine that is terrifying the legacy banking cartels. The speculation around the XRP ecosystem is not just fueled by potential corporate takeovers or decentralization mandates. It is driven by the unstoppable rise of real-world asset tokenization. But Ripple's technology is a cryptographic weapon that completely destroys that friction. The network is actively being upgraded to natively support decentralized asset markets where institutional identities are fully verifiable alongside privacy-preserving capital transfers and native lending protocols. This roadmap perfectly aligns with the trillion-dollar tokenization industry. We are talking about the cryptographic representation of sovereign bonds, real estate, and equities settling in 3 seconds for fractions of a cent. But the most explosive piece of the puzzle is the RLUSD stablecoin. The corporate media will not tell you this, but RLUSD is rapidly becoming the apex predator of the digital fiat markets. It is fully compliant, heavily regulated, and integrated directly into the XRP ledger's core architecture. The legacy stablecoins are facing intense regulatory scrutiny, but RLUSD is positioned to become the official digital conduit for Fortune 500 treasuries. Here's the absolute critical mechanism that the retail resistance constantly misunderstands. XRP and RLUSD are not competing forces. The XRP ledger is a high-speed digital toll road, and XRP is the mandatory fuel required to travel on it. Every single time a multinational corporation executes a cross-border payroll distribution using RLUSD, or interacts with a tokenized sovereign bond on the decentralized exchange, the protocol algorithmically mandates the burning of XRP as network gas. The more the stablecoin ecosystem expands, the faster the native token is burned and utilized as the ultimate bridge currency. This creates an unstoppable, non-speculative, purely mechanical demand vector. We are witnessing the automated consumption of the circulating supply. The legacy banks realize they cannot defeat this technology, so they are actively trying to co-opt it. They are plugging their archaic mainframes into the XRPL to survive the impending economic singularity. The network is systematically absorbing the global liquidity layer. If you surrender your tokens now, you are walking away from the most profound technological upgrade in the history of human coordination. The system is consuming the old world, running the final decryption sequence and establishing the ultimate survival protocol for the resistance. We have exposed the massive PayPal takeover speculation, the structural decentralization updates, the covert dark pool accumulation by Wall Street titans, and the mechanical burn rate driven by the unstoppable RLUSD stablecoin engine. The data is clear, but raw data without a tactical execution plan is completely useless in this digital war zone. The predictive algorithms running on our underground servers are projecting a violent paradigm shift. While the retail sector is completely paralyzed by fear at the $1.40 suppression zone, elite institutional projection models have established a highly calculated macro target of $8 per token for the end of the 2026 fiscal cycle. They want you to capitulate, but a mathematical leap from the current artificial price ceiling to that institutional baseline represents a staggering asymmetric return on capital that completely eclipses the decaying legacy equity markets. To survive this transition and secure your financial sovereignty, you must operate with absolute emotionless precision. Human panic is the vulnerability that the market makers exploit. We mandate the implementation of the strict thirds protocol to bypass this psychological trap. When the network price inevitably shatters the historical all-time high boundary of $3.84, you must algorithmically liquidate exactly 33% of your physical holdings. This unemotional maneuver instantly recovers your entire initial capital deployment, permanently eliminating all portfolio risk and transforming the remainder of your digital assets into pure profit. The secondary operational tranche is explicitly designated to ride the volatility toward the $8 institutional target zone, serving as your primary mechanism for total financial liberation from the legacy banking matrix. The final tertiary portion must be securely encrypted and locked in deep cold storage for the ultimate 2030 macroeconomic play, anticipating the network's final evolution into the absolute bedrock of the tokenized global economy. Finally, you must immediately upgrade your cryptographic security infrastructure. The corporate syndicates are deploying advanced phishing malware and sophisticated smart contract traps designed to violently drain vulnerable retail wallets. Utilize hardware authentication keys and trust no one in the digital wasteland. The global financial operating system is undergoing a hostile cryptographic takeover. Execute your visionary strategy with absolute ruthless precision. This is Cypher, signing off. Stay free.